Welcome to Second Chance Matric, Physical Sciences. We are now dealing with the exam walkthrough for paper 2, the chemistry. By now you're pretty well versed in what this should be about because you did it at the end of module 1 for the physics. But just let's make sure that we're right on track here. The exams give you practice in answering exam questions, and as you know, that is part of what we're preparing for. Do the 10 sessions, complete, that should be module 2, I apologize for that. Do session 2, complete module 2, which is paper 2 and chemistry. Do all your short tests at the end of the sessions. Remediate and go back and rework things that you're not absolutely sure of. Now, where to from here? Well, where to is to the second walkthrough trial exam, but for paper 2 this time. It's a 3-hour exam, online, offline. That term you understand. You see it on the screen, but you're actually going to do it on paper, okay? The exam rules, normal exam rules apply. You've got to get used to sitting for 3 hours without needing a drink, a cup of coffee, a toilet break, none of that. 3 hours, keep your nose down. When you sit for an exam, make sure you've got all the necessary equipment, and that might include a calculator. Remember, they may not be programmable. Pens, pencils, rulers, protractors, set squares, erasers, all the stationery that you need, and enough paper to write the whole exam. So you approach it as you would a final exam. Obey all the rules regarding time allocation. Now, I want to take you through this again. I mentioned it last time. 180 minutes, that's 3 hours, right? That translates into 180 minutes for 150 marks. Now, if you work at the rate of 1 mark per minute, that means that you should finish your paper in 150 minutes. That will leave you the balance, what I call fat, 30 minutes of fat. That fat is the fat that you've stored during the good times for the lean times. Now, you get to the end of the exam and you've got 30 minutes left. You can go through, you can check. When you get a tough question, you can actually eat into that fat a little bit. And so a question for 15 marks may take you 20 minutes to do. So you've taken 5 minutes of fat. That's fine. You've still got more left, and that's what it is for. It's for checking. It's for puzzling over questions. It is also for reading the question. And dear people, please read the questions carefully. Read with a pencil. Mark the important things as you read through it, so that you get the examiner's intentions for the questions clear in your mind before you tackle it. Don't rush in like a bull at a gate and then find you've taken the wrong tack or you've missed some piece of information. Okay, the 2 sessions or sections or parts of the process for the walkthrough is to write the exam, do the questions, take the questions off the screen, read them there, and then write the paper as normal on paper. And then you mark them, and you will get the memorandum with all the mark allocations. Remember that there is a video, and you will get comments on the questions, and you will get a video that takes you through all the questions and shows you perhaps some of the tricky parts in the question, things to look out for, stumbling blocks, and so on. And by the time you've finished all of that, you're pretty adept at writing this paper. So you are practicing. I promised you I wouldn't say it again, but I will. You're practicing for the big match. Doing as many examples of old papers is a wonderful way to prepare. But do it properly. Don't sit there and say, yeah, okay, I can do that. No, I won't worry about this one. And then something that I haven't mentioned before is bookwork. You go through old papers and you will find quite a lot of definitions or principles or laws. Le Chatelier's principle, Newton's laws. Those are things you can learn. You can learn and you can get 1 or 2 marks here, 3 marks there, another 1 mark there, and you can get yourself 10 marks just by learning. You know, it's such a pity to lose those marks for not learning hard enough. So collect the bookwork, because when you understand the bookwork, you also understand something about the principle behind it, when you really understand it. Newton's second law, what does it really mean? If you learn that the statement of the law, you can always work through in your mind what it really means and how it applies to a particular problem. Okay, so looking at the marking guidelines is where you're looking for insights about how the examiners think, how these examiners think. And, you know, they're not all that different. Every now and again they do something creative and new, but by and large they're a pretty steady bunch. And so by going through old papers, you can learn something about their approach, which is useful knowledge when you get out there into the exam room. Okay, good luck with paper 2.